Hello everybody! Today we are going to be exploring 3D shapes by looking at the edges, the faces and the vertices and how they are all linked and interconnected. So we're going to be creating 3D shapes today out of hopefully some resources that you have in your house. I'm going to be using some bamboo skewers and some Play-Doh. You could use straws instead of skewers or pencils or colouring pencils. Straws are better because you can cut them to the size that you need, but pencils will work if that's all you can find. Instead of Play-Doh, if you don't have any Play-Doh, you could use blue tack or plasticine. If you don't have any of those equipment in your home, you could draw it instead. If you do have it, it is better to do this because you can really see how the shapes and all that mathematical vocabulary is linked. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to create a cuboid using these as edges, and I'm going to be using the Play-Doh as vertices. So every time I have a vertex, I'm going to use a piece of Play-Doh to model it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I need to do is create a rectangular shape for the base of my cuboids, because we know that a cuboid's face is a rectangle. We looked at that yesterday. So here are the sides of my rectangle, but it will be the edges of my cuboid. Now I'm going to need, you can see that, I'm going to need some vertices to join these edges together. So I'm going to use my Play-Doh to join them together. This is really good to do because it helps you to really see how what 3D shapes are actually made up of. Need a slightly longer one there. So you do have to play around with this because you will need things that are slightly longer or shorter. If you don't have these materials at home, I'll show you how you can still do this activity through drawing later on. Okay, so I've created my base shape, so hopefully you can see that. I've got my rectangular shape there with my 4 sides and 4 vertices. So now I need to create the edges that go up to make it a 3D shape so that it has height as well. So I'm going to get some edges that are roughly the same size, and I'm going to put that into the vertex on each corner. Just check that they're roughly the same size, because if they're not, we'll have a wonky top rectangle at the top of our cuboid. Okay, so now I need to create the rectangular face that goes at the top of the cuboid. So I need 2 slightly longer edges and 2 slightly shorter edges. I'm going to put some, in order to connect a face to another face or an edge to another edge, we're going to need a vertex. So I'm going to put some Play-Doh on the top so that I can connect the edges together. You might find that your shape falls down. Just try and keep it upright by sort of pushing the Play-Doh together to secure it. Oh, he's trying to fall down there, this edge here. So you've got to really sort of secure it to the table or the mat that you're working on by pushing it down. If it's still a bit wobbly, just use some more Play-Doh or plasticine to anchor it down. Okay. Right, so I've put my 4 vertices on at the top. So now I need to create my rectangular face at the top. I'm going to join these edges together. And hope that my cuboid doesn't fall over. Oh, just slightly shorter edge on this side. So it really helps you to realise that actually a cuboid is made up of rectangles, and rectangles are rectangles because they have 2 slightly longer sides and 2 slightly shorter sides, so that's what you need to be able to find. This is why straws or sort of bamboo skewers like this are really good, because you can cut them down to the size that you need. And last piece, let's hope it stays upright. And voila, there's my cuboid. This is really, really great because we can see how many faces it's got. You can clearly see one face here, and we can see another face on the side here. So that's 2 faces. Another one here, that's 3. Another one at the back, 4. One at the top, 5. And one at the bottom, which is 6. So I can see all of the faces, and I can see that the edges are separating each of the faces. So this edge here separates this face from this face. And I can see that my vertices are separating the edges and the faces from each other. So your task now is to find some materials in your house and see if you can create some 3D shapes just like I have. See if you can create a cuboid or a triangular prism or a pyramid or a cube. Take photos of them and send them in. If you can't, if you don't have any of these resources in your house, you can try and have a go at drawing them and sort of, or showing and explaining how it works, how the faces and vertices sort of link together. If not, you could also take a sort of video of yourself explaining it to somebody else whilst you're drawing it out, because it's quite handy to be able to tell someone rather than draw it or try and write it down. Okay, good luck everybody. I can't wait to see your shapes. Bye.